12. Thank you. Thank you for always doing the recording. It's not quite 1 o'clock, so we can just yak for a little bit. Who's here? Oh, so many people. Hi, Karen Boyer. Haven't seen you for a long time.
I am here. I'm happy to say I am here.
The alternative being not so attractive. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. Thanks everybody for being here on a summer day. We're rounding the corner on August, ready to go into the fall semester. We have an agenda. There are some announcements, general announcements. I have an update. Brian's got an update, and then we have some campus questions. So I heart Kapi'olani Community College. Sheldon, what would you like to say?
Thank you. So on August 18, following Ho'opili, which is the FYE initiative, we're opening our campus to our community, letting them know that we're open. So it's a community-wide event, 3 to 6 o'clock on the Great Lawn. Please tell your family, your friends, especially your graduates. Initially, this event was to target our graduates, welcoming them back. But what I've been learning so far is there's actually a bunch of students who entered Kapi'olani in 2020 who's never stepped foot on this campus.
Yeah. Yes.
It's pretty amazing. Like I did a campus tour with the new medical assistant students, and I asked them, who's a continuing KCC student? A bunch of them raised their hand, and I asked, okay, who here first time on campus? Same people. And we met a student the other day. She was a 2019 high school graduate, I believe, and we wanted to talk to her about next steps. So we told her, "Oh, let's meet on the Great Lawn." She had no idea where to go because she's never stepped foot on this campus. And so this event is to tell folks we're open. And so on the Great Lawn, it's centralized on the Great Lawn. We're gonna have the bento box folks on the lawn serving food. Sky's husband, who's a chef at Sweet Ease, he's going to be serving some food as well. Angela's husband, Chef John, is going to be serving his specialty, and we're still trying to find folks to provide like lemonade and whatnot. So that's going to be on the field. In addition to folks doing fun demos, like Colby's going to bring, I guess, some stuff from the Native Hawaiian Garden. Culinary Arts might do a Ask a Chef kind of thing. So they won't be serving food, but like you had questions about how to scramble eggs, they might be able to answer that. We got paralegal on the field. We've got hospitality in the library. Joy folks are just doing fun things, but also in the library. New Media Arts is going to be in there. Employment Prep Center is going to be in there to showcase Handshake. Hopefully on the computers, we're going to run that Padlet that had our 71st anniversary timeline on there. Have that showcase, but and then we're going to have an alumni booth near the Ilima building in case folks want to sign up. I'll have, I don't know if you can see this, I'll have alumni stickers to give out. We'll have some alumni swag that was given to us by UHAA, which is pretty fun. So just, again, a neat way to again, tell the community that we're open. Lisa from marketing and I, we're going to walk around Kaimiki on Friday, passing out postcards to our community, letting them know we're open. We're going to even visit Kahalanui, let those folks know they can come on by.
Nice.
What's really cool is I talked to Sam. He's going to provide just information about the cactus garden. So he's all excited to just share what information he has in his mind about what the cactus garden's all about, because as we know, like tourists love taking pictures in the garden. So Sam is going to be available to field whatever questions folks may have about the garden. And so I don't know, we're going to give it a try.
Okay. Sheldon, do you have a piece of paper where all of this is written out so that, if there were people, like, what are you going to pass out to the guys?
Yes. And so Lisa, she has made this wonderful map. And once we finalize more of the sites, we're going to pass that out. We're going to hopefully have like this camera icon on the map too, to show folks where you can take pretty cool selfies, so stuff like that. And so yeah, she just within like an hour, she made this really neat map that she's gonna fine tune based on based on things after things get finalized, and we're gonna pass that out at the fair, but we're also gonna post it on our website.
Okay. Because some of us might want to take them to networks that we know.
Yep.
Or the foundation, for instance, and our donors, people in the neighborhood, that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yes. And if you folks have any connections to your former students, please welcome them back. Initially, we wanted to call this homecoming, but that just sounded a little weird. So we totally stole this idea from New York University because they have an annual event called I Love NYU. And so we just kind of borrowed it and called it I Love KCC. And hopefully this would be an annual thing. The ultimate goal is to somehow turn this into a fundraiser. But I think for now, we're just trying to get our feet wet with this type of thing and then see how this grows. But
Right.
Tell your friends, tell your family, bring the kids. They can run around on the lawn. Again, it's just a good way to see our campus again and let everyone know that we're doing fine. More than fine. We're doing great.
So it's a friend raising for this time.
Friend raising, that's a good one. Yes.
I didn't make it up, just saying. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you should take credit for it. But anyway, but if you have any questions, please let me know. If you still would like to participate in some form or fashion, you could even be just maybe campus ambassadors if folks have questions about where certain places are on campus. Again, we're just going to centralize everything to the Great Lawn because I don't know if you guys remember years ago, we did like a campus-wide event, and that was a little bit too spread out. So we want to just kind of keep it centralized, keep everyone close together, so folks don't have to open the whole campus. But yeah, here we go, fall 2020.
And by that time, the Great Lawn will have its name.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, questions for Sheldon? Yes, Carol.
Sheldon, on your walkabout, are you going to the Kaimuki businesses or are you going to do a walkabout in the neighborhood?
I think the goal is to start anywhere from the Kahala Nui, maybe all the way up to Kaimuki High School. We're going to try to just capture that, whatever we can do, whatever our legs can handle.
Okay, yeah, I think the businesses are fairly open. They're a little conservative about having things that you leave where people pick up because of COVID. So drop off things. And then the other is in the neighborhood, the elderly people in the neighborhood, they're a little afraid to open the doors. So just a FYI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're hoping to maybe hit places perhaps with that they visit, maybe like the library.
Yes.
And
the library and the
supermarkets, if they have like a community bulletin board. I know places like Jamba Juice have community bulletin boards, but trying to see where, so finding places where seniors visit frequently and see if they have community boards. Times
and the community
longs
centers.
Yes,
the centers and longs.
McDonald's at 4 a.m.
Yeah, the McDonald's down there.
My dad used to have those 25-cent coffees. They're crazy.
Sheldon, the restrooms at Kahala Mall.
Restrooms at Kahala Mall, that's right.
No, they do like to do their walk. They take their walk.
Yeah, no, totally. I should join in their morning exercise and just like pass out stuff either.
Yeah, they
stretching
do.
Or
They have
whatever.
classes over there.
yes.
I think it's a great idea, Sheldon.
Yeah, good
Other
idea.
questions for Sheldon? Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Find him, sheldont@hawaii.edu, if you have questions or suggestions or anything you'd like to do that's related to I Love KCC. Kara, are you here? You want to talk about the dashboard?
I would love to. Thank you so much. So Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to do a shout out, mahalo for those of you who have been doing summer camp. There's still one more day of fun. So if you haven't made it yet, there is tomorrow, and then the field day at Kaimana Beach on Friday. You can come paint rocks with me until 12:30 in the afternoon. So I'll be doing that, but we really hope to see you there, and thank you all for your support. It takes a village, and we've really appreciated having everybody facilitating sessions, presenting, just their audience, you know, to encourage folks. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I will dive in now to the dashboard. So let's see, how many times have you been sitting around thinking, oh, I wish I knew how many students we have registered in spring 2019 and I can't find it and I have to go send in a request to OFI to get that answer? What about accounting majors from 2020? How many did we have? What about our populations, especially now with so much of our education being online? Where are our students coming from on the islands? Like, what in the world is going on? Well, I have fast facts for you, so I'm going to share that with you. I'll give you a little tour today. Yay, I see Jan clapping, so thank you. And this came out of, I want to do a shout out to Leeward Community College. So analyst Tao Feng, she is amazing. She pulled from 24 different data sources, and she did all the hard coding on the back end so I could make it pretty and how I want it to look. So speaking of that, this one is compatible with your iPad. If you have your iPad and you use a horizontal layout, so and then it will all fit in your screen. And then I also made a phone version for this one too. So take a look at that. It has maybe a few items aren't on there, and I'll get to that, what's missing from that version, but I'm going to share my screen. I kind of blew this up so you could see it. So right away, you see you can select your term, spring 2022, that's what I have the data for now. But if we magically change it, let's just do spring 2020. Everyone remembers what they were doing in spring 2020, I think. So see here, that changed, right? So the numbers, all the stats change. So I'm gonna go back though. We'll just give you a snapshot from the last semester. Okay. So this is a magical trick. Can you believe this? Like, look at this. So if you hover on each of these, you're going to get the count. So that's so much, like I keep saying, it's a lot of work to make that happen, right? We had to go through and have all of these coded individually. So then you get the trend. So, okay, I can see the spring trends for the last 5 years just by clicking on that. And if I go to fall, then you'll see that that changes to the fall semester. So you have that ability, and you can do that across these different ethnicity groups. I do have that notation about why do we have Filipino students separated from Asian students. So we have all of the explanation there. Age groups, so we can see also trends throughout the last 5 years. We have these categories: part-time versus full-time, first generation, that's self-reported, but that is what we have, Pell recipients, and then also those of our folks, our populations that are veterans or dependent on veterans. Oh yes, I will share the link. I'll share the link in the chat. It should also be in the agenda, but hopefully you'll pay attention with what I'm doing first and then play. So yes, and it is public, so you can find it in different ways. So you'll definitely have access to it. So, right, so these different categories, so more demographic data on top. How are students enrolling by modality? So, sorry, this is face-to-face, but you can click on it and then you can see students who are only taking face-to-face courses, those who are online, those who are that mixture of both. So this one, of course, is really fascinating to see when you change and go 5 years back. So that bubble will change. So 76%, and like, let's just go fall 17. That's when I started at OFI. So, yep. And then we have that 60% for face-to-face only. So we see it like so interesting to capture these historical trends. Majors, you can also hover to see the counts for the different time periods. So this is the same. So this,
That's a good one. 100% improvement.
yes, exactly. That's how we like to use statistics, right? Okay, this is just case the student type, and this is just for our folks, our students who are home based on our campus. So we have continuing, transfer, returning freshmen and other first timers. We're actually changing this up. The data gurus at the system level, we're going to have internal and external transfers soon, so we can see if our students are within the UH system or if they've left. So that's a new development. There's these different educational goals of the student. So this is, I think, thought-provoking to kind of think about this no data area, because it is quite large. You know, you can see that scale, and that just, those are students who are undeclared, early college, or maybe home-based at other campuses. So then they are given that designation. It's interesting, you might want to play with that throughout time just to see the trends changing. Sorry, I want to go back to do it from spring 2022. Okay. So this is the number of students we, and then this will, you can see that this is dynamic too. So this will change and update. The students that had permanent Hawaii addresses in last semester's, you know, nearly 4,900. And then out of those students, 48% came from the urban Honolulu area. And I want to thank Sheldon. I had asked him for some help, you know, picking his brain about regions and things. But then in the end, I just went with what we had already been using at OFI in our enrollment reports. But you can click on the map, and I'm just going to pick 96821, where I am right now. Okay, so I can see that's going to be called the East Honolulu area. So that's that makes up 7% of our student population. And then that's for this specific zip code, it's 64 students, 1%. So you can really play. And then this, I'm kind of ashamed, but even for me, I'm still learning how to use the function here. So to get the maps, but this is also fascinating, I think, to see these changes pre and post pandemic, because that density is much greater in neighbor islands and then outside of that urban Honolulu area. So we are seeing some expansion there. So you can definitely experiment with what works for you. So we have here academic. So this is more unduplicated head count. And this, so I'd have to look to see, this looks high, right, Louise? I don't know if with that, this unduplicated, oh, that means just the number of students who enroll, like it could be one student who enrolled in 4 classes.
Shouldn't be, not if it's unduplicated. Unduplicated means only counted once.
Okay.
And that might be 2 semesters.
That's what I'm thinking for the academic year. So I will make a note of what that is and make sure it's there. Student semester hours. So that's that number. I was getting those 2 mixed up. So that would be the number, you know, one student taking 4 classes would be in there. Number of disciplines represented, courses, sections, and faculty who are actively teaching. There is a link here just to see our academic programs that we offer, and that will take you to programs of study. What we're teaching right now. So DE, we have 69%. Oh, let's try to get that percentage to show since it's just the bubble right now. So I'll do that. We have the number of courses that are textbook 0. Yay, Sunny. And then coming down to outcomes. So looking at what are awards by gender, by ethnicity. And then this does not change. This isn't dynamic because we couldn't figure it out as a collective. So right now this is static just for the last fiscal year. How are students doing? How many of our students are passing their courses? And this, I don't know, I can go back and look if this is those developmental courses as well as our college level courses together. And then what's going on with our cohort transfers? And I will say that we are in this area, because I had the leeward data in here before, and we are higher in this area of getting our students to graduate or transfer within that 3-year period, the 150% we would say. Okay, and then just a fun photo at the end. And this was the courtesy. Puna did beautiful photography at our commencement, and I asked him if I could use this, and he gave me permission. So grateful for Tao for all of her help, and this is what we have. And so please, I hope you find it useful when you're doing things, like if you're doing things for grants or for your own accreditation for programs, and can take advantage of this. And what's nice is because we worked on this as a community college system, the data is consistent. So it really is a way too that we can make comparisons across campuses and just get an idea of what's going on. And Luis, I think you may have already, I don't know, Josh was going to share it out with the chancellors, all the different dashboards. Not sure if he's done that yet.
No.
Okay. Any questions? There's a lot to explore, and you probably will. I love to say that for dashboards, what's amazing is you get to answer your own research questions. So please experiment, play, and let me know. Don't give me any recommendations of what you want added or changed. But no, just kidding, you can. I'm pretty nice. I can always say thank you for that suggestion, and smile, and then
ignore it.
Yeah. But any questions so far with this, or the surprising? I know Sunny said, hey, I can't believe we have so many part-time, and that's right. And then that lags when it comes to all these other success metrics that we use too, right? So it is definitely an issue that we see. And then because I was looking at a different, more detailed table with those success, like the graduations and transfers. And you can see that for the part-timers, the number gets low to finish within 4 years. It's quite low. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for your encouragement. Anything else?
More questions or more kudos? It's an amazing thing. And that's something that we've always wanted to be able to do. From your own computer, ask the questions that are important to you and get the answers. Carol, you have a question.
Yeah, so how many years back are you going to be looking? Are you going to add some more years on, or?
I mean, it would be quite easy to add more years because I just have to go, well, kind of quite easy. I'd have to go into those 24 different scripts and just change it. Like I could do 2015 if that, what do you all think? Or what are you thinking, Carol? What would help you?
Oh, nothing, no year in particular, but just a question.
Yeah, and I think that's how when she built it. So this was her design at first. I bet she was thinking 5 years was enough. Like I think that was her thing, but I can't see me going through and changing it to be after 2018 when we come up to the next academic year. So for now, we'll just keep 2017. I think it's still manageable too within that filter at the top. You know, you have about 15 different options then. Okay, and then Tony's asking the difference between liberal arts general and liberal arts. This one is interesting because you can see that I don't know, but let me ask my analyst friends and see my colleagues and see if we can figure out what the difference is, unless somebody else can we crowdsource the question?
Is Jerry on the, because sometimes it's all a banner kind of a thing. I don't know.
Hi.
Oh, Jerry.
Hi. I'm guessing the other, because we have concentrations for liberal arts. So maybe that's the count, but there is so many concentrations, maybe they filtered it to one number, and then maybe general is just the regular liberal art. I'm just as a total guess, sorry.
Maria, you want to guess?
I'm just guessing. I'm guessing between
guessing
general
that the-
liberal arts and concentrations. That's my take, but
Yeah, that's my guess too.
What is what though?
Oh, the liberal arts are the ones they have identified their concentrations,
And
then the liberal arts general is just
all the rest.
all the rest.
So the liberal arts concentrations are all aggregated together, that they're not separate for each one.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll find out. And then what I can
Okay.
do is I can make it really easy in my script, and then we just put parentheses around and explain what the differences are. So I'll do that. So, oh, and then, yep, there's that liberal arts exploratory on the bottom here. And there's just one.
yeah, that's going to disappear.
I thought we terminated that one.
But you
Yeah.
know, if there's only one, it could have been like one error, right? So it could have been just one.
There's one student who's still
One.
signed in to be exploratory major that doesn't know that it doesn't mean anything.
Yes. So if that is confusing, I like having that level of detail to see even those that are one or two. So I will keep it that way. That's kind of a trend we're heading towards in data. We're always balancing privacy versus, having information to make decisions, but it can lead to some issues sometimes. So like with our Pacific Islander students, a lot of times they're lost in the data. We just give them an asterisk and then we don't know so we're working towards making it more equitable too by being able to share. So I will probably keep it at this level. I think for the living, I don't know if there was one category that I did do less than 3. I think it was where people were living. I think if there were fewer than 3 in an area, I did suppress that. But for majors, that's public too. When they graduate, right, you can see that. So that was my thinking behind it. Thank you for the question. I'll look into that and make sure to update this. Hopefully by the time before we even finish here today.
Okay, thank you, Kara. I know that the link was put in the chat, and I know that we're going to bookmark this one and play around for the next 5 hours.
Great. And I thought I was still sharing my screen. I was pointing to things and talking, and everyone was so polite. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you so much. And now we can work our way through the agenda. There's only one thing before we get to the questions, and that is just an update on convocation, just very broadly. Convocation will be in 3 different pieces, let's say. There will be initially a protocol ceremony that will be at the Great Lawn at 7 o'clock. And that's Pokinahua, yes. Where's my piece of paper? Pokinahua. And we're going to be in our kihei, and thank you to all of the many people who have ordered a kihei and will be there to go through the protocol ceremony and the naming of the Great Lawn. So that's going to take place at 7 o'clock. And if you pre-ordered your kihei, come earlier to pick it up so that we're all ready to go by 7 o'clock. It will be the naming of the Great Lawn, and we all have homework. All of those who are going to be there at 7 o'clock to participate in the ceremony, we have homework. We've been asked to identify which part of the Ahupua'a we come from, and that's called your Ka'ana Ni'au. So our Ahupua'a goes from Moana Lua to Mauna Lua. And there are many different segments in there, and you have to identify which one of those you come from. And how do you know that? You will look on page, I think it's 41. No, 42. No, where the hell is the map? Sorry, right here. Page 10. Page 10 and 11 in our map in your Kawahena Kaiau, and you will be able to see which of the 15 Ka'ana Ni'au you belong to. You will be asked to participate in a particular part of the ceremony that is related and associated to your particular segment. If you don't belong, you live on the windward side or you live somewhere on Waianae, contact Kapulani. She will help you understand where to pick your spot. And if you have questions about that, email kapulani@hawaii.edu. That's the first part, from 7 o'clock to about 7:45. And I was talking to somebody else this morning, and we're going to be shooting with a drone. And that's the only part of the 21st century, because I said we could go back 1,000 years and it would look the same. But the 21st century is going to be there on the Great Lawn in the shape of a drone. After that protocol ceremony, there will be breakfast. Breakfast is co-sponsored by the Aloha Club and the Chancellor. And that will go from 7:45 to 8:30 or whenever the food runs out. It's not, so get there early to make sure you get your food. We're going to encourage people to either sit under the tent or sit in the cafeteria and share food. Because part of this is also trying to rebuild community on the campus. We've been separated for a very long time. And so I'm trying to help us remember that we are community on this campus. After breakfast will be convocation. There will be, it's a hybrid convocation. I can speak. Convocation. It's hybrid. We will be face-to-face in the cafeteria for all those folks who want to be face-to-face. And those who want to participate via Zoom can be via Zoom. So it will be up to you to decide how you want to be part of convocation. So the presenters will all be in the cafeteria face-to-face. So we're hoping that maybe those who stay for breakfast in the caf will stay and be part of the live in-person audience. More details about the Pokinahua will come later on, but for now, you have to figure out which one is your ka'anani'au. Questions, comments? Feel free to put in the chat or unmute yourself, ask the question. Jan, you're pondering? No, you're trying to find out where your ahupua'a is. I get it. Ka'anani'au. Okay. Nava'a, did you want to say something? Your green
Well,
rectangle just went on.
Yeah, no, you kind of just covered it because, yeah, I think most people just know the word ahupua'a, but because us Oahu people are special in our own right, we had our own words for what others had. So for ahupua'a, a lot of Oahu people called it ka'anani'au. What most people call like a nurse is like kahuma'i, or someone who cares for the sick, but we had kapuhi, which was likened to the way you would care for an eel. But it was, yeah, we just Oahu people have a little, but I think on every island, really depending on your environment, is what the words would reflect is the environment that you had. Yeah. But yeah, now you hit it. Sorry.
Okay.
Too much.
I'm responding to Carol. Saba, welcome Saba. Saba's the new department chair for nursing, and I saw Calvin, he's the new department chair, and I saw Nadine, she's another new department chair. Hi Saba, you have a question?
Yes, Nava'a, is Ko'olaupoku correct?
Yeah, if you live where Kaneohe, that's probably right. But I think what Kapu is trying to do is when you enter into Kona, the Moku of Kona, which way, she's probably going to ask you, which way do you come in? Do you come in through H Tree to, what is the other, Wilson Tunnel?
Pali.
Yeah, so Pali, I think she's going to tell you that you would represent, Pali is Nu'uanu. That Ka'anani'au would be Nu'uanu. But try to give her one call.
Yeah, I think that's right. I saw her give an explanation somewhere else. So if you live outside of our area, then wherever you come into the area will be the place that you will belong to on the August 17th.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, department chairs. All three newbies are here. Calvin Tan, new BLT department chair, and Saba's the new nursing department chair. Where's Nadine? Nadine, the new math sciences department chair. Yay. You'll get the same treatment at the CAC meeting on the 9th, just saying. Just get ready. Okay. Other questions about August 17? It's going to be fabulous. I'm really excited. Okay, on to the questions. Food service for faculty and staff and students. I think if I was going to count how many times that question has been asked, it's probably like every month of every CAC meeting and every time. So the food service options for the campus for the immediate fall semester are two. We have a $5 bento truck and we have the 220 grill. Those are the options. Other options have been considered, but with, okay. For fall 2022, at this point in time, and it's not a firm number yet, we have 313 face-to-face or hybrid classes and 473 online only classes. It's very difficult to entice a food vendor to come on the campus when there aren't that many people to feed. So please understand that the $5 bento truck is there all day long till dinner time. And the 220 grill will be operating Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, 6 out of 8 weeks of their module. So there will be food on the campus. Questions?
So Louise, I'm just gonna jump in here.
Okay, Grant.
Yeah, so Kaikena will be open for dine-in service.
Forgot.
And then for AM and PM, so AM lunchtime will be operated by Chef Grant Sato and his class, and Chef Salvo will be doing the European and Mediterranean cuisine. As everyone knows, Chef Allen will be still running 220 grill. He does have a component of sustainability, so it will open on the 3rd week. So they're actually going to be open 5 weeks in the first module.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Oh, sorry. I'm responding to Carol. There were 66 participants. This is supposed to be a side conversation. So you're in on a secret. Okay.
We're just all very excited because the last 2 meetings we've had like 30 participants. So it's good to see this many people.
Right. And I'm guessing it's really about the next question that everybody is happy camper, yes? About the masks. So this morning, we all got the message from President Lassner about what the mask mandates are. So there are 3 areas where masks will be required. And it is indoor classrooms, labs, and other confined spaces, such as counseling and advising offices. Now, the questions is, what about other places? So what we're going to do is, because the policy allows the campuses to designate other places, we're going to ask you, if you are the one responsible for managing a space and you would like to require masks in your space. So in the chat, not in the chat, but in the agenda, there's questions about the library, for instance. That's one area. But if you manage a space and would like to require masks be in that space, please send an email to your program administrator identifying the what space you're talking about, how many people are in that space that would be impacted, and why masks should be required in your space. And we will consider those. And we would like that email to go to your administrator by August 9. Did I get it right? Brian, jump in.
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll put this.
So what,
Sorry, just hold on, Brian. We'll put this message in an email to the CAC because not everybody is here right now. So Brian, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No. I mean, just to reiterate what Louise said. So the three areas came out. One was poorly defined within that email. And so there may be spaces within our own campus, which by the very nature of the space itself, the way it's configured, the operations that occur within there, the number of employees that are in there, et cetera, that we may have to, just determine that there needs to be masking required, or B, the program itself, the program manager, supervisor, department chair, et cetera, may want to request that the area be a mask required area. So like Louise said, 8, 9, or next week, Tuesday is when we would like all of those requests to come in. And then by convocation, hopefully we'll be able to send a list out to everyone so that they'll know which spaces need a mask and which spaces do not.
Right. And those spaces that are approved for mask requirement will need to have signage that indicates, so the students know. Questions? Okay. The other question in the agenda was about Lumicite, and I'm saying no, there is no more Lumicite. And no, we are not going to be having COVID testing available to faculty, staff, and students. You should be able to get tests at home through the USPS if you need to have tests. There will be, however, a COVID vaccination I was gonna say workshop, but no, opportunity. Darsh, you want to talk about that? Sorry. Putting you on the spot, Darsh. You didn't know you were going to be asked.
Hi.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so we do have 2 vaccination clinic, one for COVID and one for flu shot. We have been doing flu shot clinic for almost 5 years now. So we'll be having that on September 24th and 25th. I'll soon send out the registration for flu shot before the end of this week. And COVID vaccination clinic is for the first time. We had received inquiries whether we'll be having COVID vaccination or not. So we have scheduled one day, that is August 25th, from 12 to 2. So for that, registration is open, and it would be, both the clinics would be organized by Times Pharmacy. So we'll send out reminders through our listserv as well as news and events. Feel free to share it within your department if anybody is interested. But it's open to students and employees. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Jerry, you have a question? Sorry.
Sorry, just going back with the Lumicite. Even though as general like staff, faculty, and students, you don't have to log into Lumicite to download your COVID vaccine. It actually is still required for any health science or nursing students who are registering. So they're still checking for COVID. So that is where they would still upload their COVID shots to Lumicite. So that's the only class of students that actually would need access to the app right now. So
yeah, nobody needs to do a daily check-in when they come on campus, but it is a way to have archives of your documents should you need. And the health programs still, because of the employers and because of where our students go to do their clinicals, those placements have their own rules that we need to abide by for our students to have access.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
So thanks, Jerry. So Karen or Saba, is that within your folks syllabi?
I'll go ahead and start, and Saba, yeah, it is, it's advertised. And it's in the, I think it's in the ASAP form, and certainly when they get, yeah. Facilities, so it's so funny, I'm actually emailing, during this, I know that's a big surprise to everybody, but yeah, we're low man on the totem pole when it comes to clinical facilities. We're students and we're guests. So the COVID vaccine is required, and our long-term care partners are requiring up-to-date vaccines. Kuakini is included in that, as well as Kaiser. So yeah, Brian, we tap dance students just got to be vaccinated. In theory, there's a way to request a waiver, but not every facility has a mechanism for that, and there's no guarantee they'll even get to it or approve it. So
Okay.
yeah, I probably
The-
answered your question and maybe then some. Anything
Yeah,
else
no,
you want to
you-
say? Yeah, Saba.
No, you definitely answered it. The reason why I'm asking is because at some point in time, because the rest of the university isn't using it, the ITS is likely going to stop updating it. And as you guys know, apps get updated almost daily. And so I will reach out to Garrett Yoshimi, our UH CFO, just to make sure that he understands we are still using this and our students rely on it. And so, he can either abide, listen to that, or he might say, hey, you guys, you have to support it on your own. But I just want him to know that we still use it, because the general feeling right now is nobody in the university is using it. And so that it is good for me. I knew this, and I'm glad it came up. So thanks, Jerry, for clarifying. And if I have any other questions, I'll reach out to you folks. Saba.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, just to add on to what Karen said, because our students are out in the community, they're at home, and then they go into the clinical settings, the LumiSite questions sort of help us maintain the fact that they are testing, they have not been exposed to anyone, and that they're coming face to face to lab. So I was the one who put that question in, you could probably imagine, just because I wanted to have another way of tracking this. But if it's going to go down, we'll just figure out another way for them to, attest that in a different way. They just have been used to doing it, so it's easier for us, and we have that electronic record. But I appreciate your help in keeping it going if possible. If not, not. And then I know Saba said that Queens actually has their own LumiSite app that they must sign into when they go to the facility. So thank you for entertaining that question.
Complicated, yeah. Okay, let me look. I think that's it from the agenda. Okay, while we're here, are there other questions you have about the start of the fall semester? Brian, did you want to talk about Lot A and AC? Only letters of the alphabet for you, A and AC.
Yeah, first a couple of things. Some personnel announcements. It's been pretty low attendance at our meetings once a month. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knew we do have a new safety and emergency management manager. He actually is close to 3 months, but due to various reasons, either he was not at here for the meeting, or I had COVID, or whatever. I didn't have a chance to announce it. So his name is Steve Sigler. He comes to us from HIEMA. And again, he is our new safety and emergency management manager. Also, we have a vacancy in a big area, which is aux services. So I'm wearing that hat right now. I don't take kindly to yelling at me, even though your AC is working, but I do have a lot of those to announce. So those are the personnel changes. AC, with regard to AC, Murphy rules the world. So of course he rears his ugly head right before school starts. So we have 3 significant buildings right now that are impacted by AC. The first one and the soonest one to be repaired is OHIA. OHIA should be up and running by August 12th. That's next week, Friday. hopefully sooner. We also have Iliahi Wing C, that's the subway wing. And that should be up by August 19th. Okay, they're ordering parts on that one. And the final one, and I appreciate Lisa Aganon's and Calvin Tan's patience with this one because it's Copico. And so Copico is a major, massive repair. Basically, the entire chiller is down. And so I have no timetable on that one. I can say that it'll likely be down for a couple of months. The parts that have to be ordered, are coming from the mainland. And so we all know about the supply chain issues. And so basically it's going to be down for a little while. If you have not yet, or if you are interested in trying to move a class, please reach out to Shelly Numazu, my assistant, and she can assist you with no guarantees, but she can assist you with trying to find a time. What would be most helpful when we try to find alternative classrooms for those hybrid classes, if we knew when, it's not advertised, it just says hybrid, but it's not real clear as to when those rooms are going to be occupied or not. So if we could share that, with your deans, we'll have a lot easier time trying to find alternative spaces. Are there any questions on AC? Oh, here we go. Hold on, let me put my armor on. Okay, go. Okay, I gave you guys 10 seconds and it should be enough time. If anything about AC pops up between now and the end of the meeting, obviously you can ask it. For future AC issues, as you guys know, we have a form for work orders, or you can contact Wanda, Mita, or Shelly, or Jean, regarding AC issues, and preferably Wanda, but we will, put them in the order that they come in. Parts really right now, repairs are just taking so long because parts are just so difficult to get right now. Okay. Finally, we have a good news. I'll have to frame it in this way. We have really good news. We're going to get our parking lot A resurfaced. But before you get to the good news, you got to travel a journey. And that journey starts tomorrow on August 4th. We're going to be closing Lot A, as well as the gate to the access road to Lot B, from August 4th to the 15th. And what needs to happen is prior to resurfacing, they need to repair concrete. So there's a lot of trip and fall hazards in that parking lot. The concrete guys will come in, they'll fix it up, and then resurfacing and repaving will start. And that's scheduled to start about September 6th. So the next question is, why are you doing this right when school starts? And the answer very simply is, number one, materials are in. And number two, the contractors have an empty puka in their schedules. And if we don't embrace that and welcome them to come do the work, we may miss that window of opportunity. We also then plan to do the fire lane, which connects lot A and B, sometime this fall. Again, so that is going to be pending materials and contractor availability. Any questions?
Where can I park if I'm used to parking in the Copico lot?
Great, you can go park in the neighborhoods that are, no, I'm just kidding. We have a vacant lot across the street. No, I'm just kidding also. There's plenty of room on other lots on campus. Lot C is virtually empty. That is a little far for Copico and other folks on the upper campus. But B is generally open, lot B, which is the Alohea entrance. Like I said, lot C is generally open. Lot E, which is covered parking. Actually, if you take the back way and the path, it's probably just as close as lot B to park in lot E. So there's plenty of parking. we will never get into a situation with our current projections for face-to-face classes. We will not run out of parking, and there really will not be a need for folks to have to even go down to Lot D, which is down by Alani, across from Kaimuki Middle School. Believe me, I would love to get to a situation when parking was a scarcity. If we remember that about 3 years ago, or even 4 years ago, we were all complaining at that time. And now in hindsight, whew, I think we'd all want to have that back. So let's just cross our fingers. You know, they'll come back at a certain point in time. You guys just keep doing the good stuff you guys do and teaching and kicking ass out there, and they'll come back, but it's not going to be this semester.
Right. Thank you, Brian. I don't want to end the meeting without giving Carol a chance to talk about more good news. Carol.
Okay, thank you, Louise. Everyone, I have some great news. The University of Hawaii Community Colleges have been very successful in getting federal grants, and this time they applied for an Economic Development Administration Good Jobs Challenge grant. And out of 569 applications and only 20 some awarded, we were one of the states that got that. And the good news is that not only will the opportunity for workforce development training apply to continuing education, but it will apply to credit courses as well. Stackable credit courses that lead to jobs. And there are 4 specific areas, 3 of which really do apply to us. There's health, there's IT, and I think we're working on some things with clean energy. So think about that. And at the same time, we still have the Ohana Career Pathways grant going, which was started about a year and a half ago. And that was a $13-some million grant, and they have broadened the criteria for qualifications. So education is now included in that, sustainability, and they're adding in incumbent workers as potential people to be applied. So this fall is going to be a really good time for training for credit and continuing ed. And lastly, we have round 3 of the Oahu Back to Work. So lots of opportunity to get people trained and for you all to be involved. Thank you, Louise.
Thanks, Carol. Okay, 3 minutes. Who would like to share?
I would like to share, Chancellor.
Oh, go, Sean.
I just wanted to update everyone on the Ireland trip. We brought 9 students from underserved, underrepresented demographics, and they had an amazing time. We also had some faculty join us, 1 faculty from Windward Community College, and we had 1 from Hawaii Community College, and then we also had Auntie Coco join us and Lavashe join us, which was absolutely amazing. And also wanted to we're trying to put together, I don't know how successful we'll be, but I brought a video camera. We tried to capture a little bit of video there and trying to pull together like a little media kit that we can use, not only for promotion for future programs, but also so that other faculty can see, not only for the students. We would love to continue to globalize the campus and afford our faculty opportunities to attend in addition to our students. And so that is one of the things that's going to be in the works. Also wanted to say a special thank you to our Chancellor for supporting the program and to Dr. Pagotto for supporting the program. So yeah, if I can speak to Dr. Pagotto a little bit too, you have changed lives. You have impacted lives in tremendous ways, and including me, because I'm a student that went on these programs before, that somebody believed in me, and now I got to take students on these programs, and because of that, I got to see some lives changed, and so I came back changed as well. And so I'm grateful for you investing in all of us, And for all of you that are out there as well, I would like to see how we can, have more faculty join. And so whether it's faculty development funds or tucking someone's on the side, keep an eye out for some information as we move things forward as well for next year. Thank you.
Thank you. And the students were posting, blogging on a Padlet over the course of the time in Ireland. And so I was reading them and I was just amazed at the connections that they were making in Ireland about Indigenous people and how they related it to what was happening for themselves. And David Kingdon, who was our faculty member, was on that trip too. And he made the comment that there were other students from universities on this trip, and he said our students were just brilliant, that they held their own, that they were making the kinds of observations and insights that were second to none. And so it was really a wonderful trip. And I so appreciate Sean and Auntie Coco and Lavishay for shepherding the students. It was not without some hiccups at the end when flights were canceled and COVID took hold and all kinds of things happened, but they all came back safely and it was a great trip. So I appreciate, Sean, you letting us know about that. And there was a side comment right now, which I'll get back to you about. Maybe we'll do a spotlight at the CAC meeting next week.
Oh, that sounds great. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We're at 2 o'clock, everybody. I want to thank you all for being here. It's going to be a busy semester. We've got strategic planning, we've got accreditation, self-studies getting started, and we have a semester to come back together and be human beings. So appreciate all of you. Take the time to do the things that bring you joy. And we will see you, some of you at CAC next week. See you at convocation on the 17th, bright and early at 7 a.m. See you guys then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Unmute and say goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Happy holidays.
Summer camp rocks.